Hello everybody, this is a Lamley Collection Showcase. More of an update. I have some work to do. You're going to walk through it with me. You are looking at a ton of Matchbox Porsches. This is my Porsche collection. What I have in the collection in those cases, some of the acrylics, some of the stuff I want to add, some of the stuff I'm trying to think about in this entirety. On the other side of those cases, there are more Porsches. And this is the example of the entire Matchbox collection revamp that I am going through. I'm at a bit of a crossroads with Matchbox. This is my loose car collection, Hot Wheels and Matchbox there on the lower row. And of course, you know, I have wall displays. We talked about the wall displays, more on that later. There's the Mini GT. In fact, here's a video that's coming up. I've got these to fill up and I have some ideas. We're gonna walk through that with me in a video here very soon. Nonetheless, this is my Matchbox collection and it needs a revamp. I have done, I did a major purge a couple years ago, and that's actually the first thing I want to mention. The purge from last time, and as I go through this purge again, going through this stuff, when I purge a collection, I want these cars to go to happy homes, and I found that Whatnot is a great way to do it. So, this Saturday, I believe 9 a.m. Pacific time, just go to the link in the description. I've got a whole Lamley Collection Purge Whatnot show. These are all cars that came out of the collection when I did the purge a couple years ago, and the current purge I'm working on right now. Some fantastic stuff, and I got boxes and boxes. This is a project, this Matchbox revamp is a project that I'm going to be going through for a while, and as cars are made available, as I get rid of them, they're going to be put up on Whatnot, and I got a ton already to start with, and when I say boxes, I mean boxes, and they're great, great cars. I just have to figure out where I'm at in the collection. So that's number one, and number two is I feel as I start going through this, instead of just going one by one by one, you can see this collection, it starts alphabetically with like Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin and BMW and just works its way through. There's the gap where Porsche is supposed to go. And like I said, this is what I want to work through. And I have a lot of work to do, and that's what we are going to do today. I think this is indicative of kind of where I'm at with Matchbox. There's some stuff I love. There's some stuff I'm not too fond of, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. And I think by going through this collection, going through a very rich collection of cars, a very involved collection like my Porsche collection, will help me kind of understand where I am and what I want to do with Matchbox. I don't want everything. And I don't know if I want even one of everything. I just have to figure this out, and I thought walking through Porsche with you guys today would kind of help me to see where I'm at with Matchbox, especially with the gathering coming up next week, us finding out what 2026 is going to be like. I thought this would be a very interesting video to do. I'm going to get rid of several of these, quite a bit, and then we'll move on to other portions of the collection, and I'll probably do videos on that. But let's get to it. Revamping Porsche Matchbox. All right, we start with what's going to stay no matter what. That's really easy. We'll remove these because they're going to find a place here in a minute. But let's talk about these acrylic cases. I have a handful of Matchbox Gathering Porsches and Leipzig shows from Germany, the exclusive that Matchbox has done. We'll start with the Leipzig shows. Things have changed a little bit. I don't know why this happened and it didn't go up here, but that's, you know, whatever. I can even show you just the other side. These are the exclusives from 2023, 2024. Oh, we got 2024 here too. They're the days of like the exclusive colors, like the multiple colors are over, but this was the last time they did it was 2023 and it was a German show. So I can't remember. There's numbers on these. I've done a video on these before, but there were like 300 of one, or maybe 500 of one, 300 of one, and maybe 100 or 75 of the other. So one of these is super rare. Red obviously being the most iconic here of the, this is the Porsche, I am going to drop these. I don't know why I'm trying to do this. Porsche 910, which is a cast we haven't seen too much from Matchbox. But yeah, they're really, really cool. Real Rider tires. This is the yellow one. This is the red one, which is obviously the most iconic color. Blue, and then they do, for the folks that work on the show, Dirk, who ran the show, had a special 1 of 25 satin pink model done since I did some promo for them. I got one too, and very, very excited to have it. So these are not only really cool, and I would have them in the collection no matter what, but they are staying. They also have a bit of a sentimental value, and those kind of models always stay, at least for now, until I retire. One other Porsche, and I could go through all of the Leipzig shows, Leipzig, from the German, but this one's from last year. This one was truly unfortunate because you get the logo and Porsche required the sticker to be shown. They couldn't put it down here somewhere, but ultimately I'll just show you the other side. This is the Porsche 911 RSR, which is a very popular Mattel Creations, and this is the second release. Really, really cool model of the RSR that was released last year as the German exclusive. There was a Mercedes as well, but we're not doing Mercedes today. We are doing Porsche. And then, oh yeah, and then there was this other Porsche that was also part of the Leipzig show, and the same kind of thing. You had 3 colors, all different, one more rare than the next. I can't remember the order, and then a 1 of 25 pink. They did this one right because they put it up top. This is 2020. So orange. This is actually based on a popular Porsche from a TV show, I think, if I remember correctly. This is the Porsche 911 Turbo casting. So black, there was orange, and there was this black one, which is really cool with those stripes. White has a little bit of a plainer look, but still really cool. And then, of course, the 1 of 25 pink, which is very cool, especially with those mag wheels. I kind of like it. It kind of fits. Anyway, those stay. And then that same casting, the Porsche 911 Turbo, was what year? I can't. We can look up real close. 2021. 2021. Here I can. We'll see now. This one's on top, so this is great. The Porsche was a dinner exclusive, and I think it was dinner. Yeah. Oh, dealer model. Sorry, it says it right there. 1980 Porsche in this kind of Spectre Flame green, and then a special, same thing for people who worked with Jim on the show, got this special chrome version of the Porsche. And so that one is there as well. Very cool stuff. They stay. They're not going anywhere, but I'm doing my Matchbox. I'm working through my Matchbox Porsche collection, so they had to come out to be considered. These are all models that I'm going to consider, but I think what we'll do is we'll go to the collection itself. And what I think in order to make this sense, because I'm doing a video, of course, but I'm also legitimately trying to go through this collection to figure out what I want to do. So, all right, I'm going to go with the no-brainers. I changed the angle because it's easier for me to work. So I'm going to open up this case. I know I'm already going to get asked, what about these dividers right here for the case? Like, where do those come from? Dayton Diecast, and I will definitely leave a link in the comments. So if you want to go and buy those, they have been very, very helpful. Anyway, so go follow that link. The most no-brainer Porsche. This is my favorite Porsche casting. It's one of the most popular Porsche castings of the last few years. And of course, I should also tell you, I just go mostly modern, but is the Porsche 911 GT3, right? 2007 Porsche 911 GT3. This casting, since it was built by Ryu Asada, has been not only one of my all-time favorites, but I know a lot of collectors that are fond of this one. That yellow one is a 10-pack. Back in the day, a 10-pack's 2007. White was the first edition, but the yellow came out first. There was white, then red. This casting has had a few iterations. Those were all main lines. This is one of my favorites too. Like I said, this is 2007, 2008. This was from a 5-pack. I don't remember where all of them came from, but here was super fast. Had those super fast wheels that had a bit of a mixed response. I don't know if I should go through. I mean, I'm going to show you this one because I just think this casting, that's the wheel variation, the 10 spokes, mainline and green. I could go on and on and on. I mean, well, I'm going to go on and on because I'm going to, there are several versions of this model that I'm not too fond of. Well, that one I'm very fond of, but it just started off with just on such a hot run. I mean, look at all these versions. There have been some carry forwards. That might be one of them, the blue one. Here's another one with the orange wheels. It's just like every year, one or two would come out. And there were eras where there was little deco, like this one didn't get headlights, which is super annoying, or taillights, just got this side deco. And this is when Matchbox seemed to be, I don't know, like the penny pinchers were kind of winning the battle at that point. Then there was this idea that there should be decos like this monstrosity. It's awful. I mean, it really is awful. There's nothing on the front or back, and it has this awful, but it's the casting, so I keep it. One day I might, see this might be the question, one day I'll need to purge that stuff. This was what was considered premium back in the day, which was kind of, it's a nice version, has a lot of cool deco on it. GT3. This one is like an original take on the GT3 deco. It's pretty bad. Then it got just all of a sudden super clean again. And we started seeing it return to the main line. It got a, well, this one still has the plastic spoiler. It got a metal spoiler at one point. I'll show you where. This was premium. They used Spectre Flame paint. I can't remember what line it was from, like a best of, I think. Or maybe, I know it wasn't Lesney Edition. All of a sudden, it just went magic. This was, there was a pair of 9-pack exclusives. This might be, outside of this yellow version, this blue one with white rims may be my favorite they've ever done. And they did it for 9-pack. Like I said, Ryo Asada designed this one, if I didn't say that. This was its companion model, this purple with black rims, and it's equally cool. And just so clean, just the color's great, but it gets taillights, it gets headlights, all the details that it should have. Then mainline in red. I mean, it just goes on. There was the Chase model. It's okay. The Chases, I've not been really into the Chases. There have been some decent ones. We might see a couple more Chases. That one was okay. But then they come back with that Porsche series, which was phenomenal. And this one in mint green. Or not mint green, but kind of like bright green. Look at that color. That with the blue and the purple. They're phenomenal. That's a great trio. Then we finally get a white with black rims, not too recent, or not too long ago. I think it was last year. And that one is phenomenal. Like, that version's better than that version. And then just recently we had the 5-pack version, which is actually really cool too, in this nice color. So this one, I mean, just look at the history of that model, and you can see that started super strong. That gray with dark rims, how great is that one? And then really went through, and then it got kind of cool with the GT3 deco. Then it kind of lost its luster for a minute, and then it just returned with a vengeance. And this run here, from about here to here, has been phenomenal. But we aren't entirely done. We finished up, we filled up that whole side of that case, right? So we'll have to turn it around. But we have one more. We have the Target, I think they call these red editions just like Hot Wheels, that came out this year. My friend Bought Belt got this for me. I have not seen it in store, but he was able to find it, asked if I wanted it, and I said, yeah, I totally do. This car I always collect. And this red version with white rims, stripes are fine, but I love the red with white rims. So let's open that one up. Playing with angles, or learning angles of what works and what doesn't in this office right now, so I can work with these cases. This seems to work, which I know you get a little spotlight here. There's that, throw that over there. Here it is. I don't see these red editions very often, or whatever they're called, Target Reds. And there's been a few that I've missed that I've wanted. This one I had to have because I've been such a completist on this car. So it goes right there. I might leave a slot or two. We'll see where we're at, because if more come out, I'm going to add them. So that model is a no-brainer. All right, let's continue with the Porsche 911. And there's a million directions we can go, because that is the bulk, actually, of what Matchbox models we have. So if we're going to stay, I mean, we can go back and forth. I don't want to make it too scientific in order. We're just going to go through each casting. So the next casting, I think, is we'll go back to this kind of refurbished 911 turbo casting. This one, I think it's technically called now the 1980 Porsche 911 Turbo. It was made to look somewhat like the classic 911 turbo casting from the 70s and 80s and even 90s. There's obviously a lot of differences, but the shape itself, the silhouette, the kind of the wide body it has, was one to actually to make it, you know, I don't know, look like that. So we have the blue first edition. So it has a bit of a nostalgic vibe to it. I don't know how, what there's ordered. I think there was this one in red. We had the Mattel Creations 1980s versions, which I actually was pretty fond of. I really liked the design in the package, but it was so big I left it out. Here is the anniversary, 70th anniversary issue from a couple years ago. This was might have been 3 or 4 years ago, with this deco, this kind of cool, super fast deco. And then there was, yeah, this brown version. Now, of course, I've already shown you the Leipzig and the Gathering versions, and I'm keeping those. So I have to decide really what I care about this casting. And I look at it, honestly, there's better castings. I think having a representation of this one, a representative outside of just those exclusives, is fair. So if I look at these, I really liked this one, but ultimately I think what I'm going to keep are the two just very plain versions. I like that red version, and I like this brown version, and I like the wheels. I think the wheels, as even though they're more modern wheels, I think they kind of fit with the kind of large element of this casting. So I like those too. So here's the first Purge. First edition's out. And then we'll put these on whatnot. This orange 70th anniversary, whatever this one is from Superfast. And put these over here. And then, of course, the 80s version. I don't know if I have the case for it, so it'll just go loose. So there's your first Purge. Let's continue with the 911. Just trying to keep things... I mean, I'm not going to do it in order. So we could also go with, how about the Rally? What's this one called? Porsche, 1985 Porsche 911 Rally. Really enjoyed this casting. You can see this one is a bit of a tribute. It was the first... Actually, it's not the first edition. The very first issue of this one was the Toy Fair. 2019 Toy Fair in this kind of satin copper color, or bronze color, whatever you want to call it. This was the very first issue of it. Very beautifully designed. And quite fond of it, actually, in that copper color. And it came in a kind of a plastic case. It wasn't acrylic. So I keep that one. That one definitely I'm going to keep. Then there's been this version in brown. This, another 70th anniversary issue, which is actually pretty cool. And this release in green. And then these last two have been phenomenal. This was from the Porsche set a couple years ago in jet black. Still think this is one of my favorite all-time Matchboxes. And I know that's lambly hyperbole, which I'm fantastic at, but it really is. And then this kind of mint green or whatever color it is, but it's just so cool. And it just fits so perfectly with this casting. I love that they did the deco up above. I don't need to keep all of these. This one's out. This one's out. The anniversary, I tend to get rid of the anniversary ones, but I kind of like that one. I'm going to put that, I'm going to keep that one. Black and teal stays. All right, let's keep on going. We're staying with the 911. Well, easy, no-brainer. You had the Leipzig Porsche 911 RSR. This is the very first issue from Mattel Creations. Sold out quickly. Very popular casting. Hope we see it come to a line somewhere. Retail would be quite nice to see this one come. It's just so cool. And, of course I'm keeping that one. So that one stays. Keep on going with the 911. We can actually go through the more recent releases of the 911. You had from Moving Parts this one. I think this casting's phenomenal. This is the Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. So far I'm keeping everything, right? Red version. Then I think it was released in this gray. I think the red was first. Then it was with gray with gold rims. I think that was second. Could have it off. And I think there's been a third release, and it's this blue with the gold rims. And that one goes right there. Those I'm keeping. I actually really like the more recent Porsche castings that they did. The 911s in particular. We'll talk about that. So then that would lead, if we have that one, then they released a convertible. And in red, I feel like there's a blue one, but I'm not seeing it. And then Targa, right? We had the Targa released in blue last year, and it's a dollar car, so they had to play with this kind of like just trying to make it work. There's a second version that just came out, red with black rims, which I think is pretty phenomenal. So art's fabulous too on this one. So let's open that one up. Porsche 911 Targa. It's so funny when you're a collector. Sometimes you remember everything, and sometimes you forget things like that you just did like a day ago, or you just had in the collection. That's really nice. I really like this one. I like it. The blue's nice, but this one with the black rims and all that detail, that's really a great casting. Yeah. I think I'm doing pretty good here, right? I think I'm doing pretty good. Okay, let's keep on going with this 911. All right, I'm going to get into a casting. I can't remember how many I've got of it, but I'm going to pull out this case. We're going to talk about this 911. I think technically, got one right here, one of the original Superfast with the very, very ugly wheels. Porsche 911 Turbo is what this one is called. And I think, what is that, 996? Somewhat unloved Porsche, but this casting, I think you'll see, is quite nice. We're going to put this one down. I've got a few here, so let's walk through this. I don't know. This one was a Star of Cars release, I think, in Germany. I think it was an international release. Oh, let's see, Dinky. So that means it was, when it has this Dinky, it was a German release, Stars of Cars, or European release way back 2000. I mean, this casting, what's the year on it? 2001. So this casting's 24 years old. All things considered, it's pretty nice, right? It's really nice. So this one, and they have these flower wheels, which they've since ditched, which is probably a good thing. So we have that issue from maybe 2005 or so. Then there's the Superfast issues that I had kept, and I have these others that I'm going to consider. So there was the first Superfast with the ugly wheels in gray, but I like it. Still, it's just, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a piece of history. I don't know. There's just something about this casting as like Matchbox moving into what I consider its golden age, which was like 2005, 2011. Ryo Sato's designing. This casting was already done, but it seemed like it kind of predates it. Then it went to Superfast. These wheels are a little small, but it's still, these castings were super nice. This is what premium was back in those days, 20 years ago. And I still kind of miss it. I'm still kind of nostalgic for it. They had more details, but premium was also not $8. It was like $3, you know? So you had your dollar models, and then you had your $3 premium models. This is red. They had several releases. This black one, I think one of them was from a special set. This black one, I think, was a retail release. All of these were white, red, black. It was this one that was part, I think, an Autobahn set. This yellow one. I would show you that they actually, I mean, they sit, I've got them, you know, the wheels kind of drop a little bit when I'm holding it up, but when you put them down, you can't really see it, but you put them in the case, they do look, side silhouette, they look really nice. Okay, here's a model that I've really tried to figure out. So here's a cool story. And I actually, when I did my original purge a couple years ago, I actually let two of these go, but I'm kind of glad I've held on to them and not done anything with them yet. It's this one. So this was I think 2005 or so, 2006 maybe, it was 2006. There was this release of the Porsche. And they added a little more detail. This was as we're moving in. Felix Holst, Dave Weiss, kind of a cool group of Ryo Sato coming in. Cool group of designers. There you can see how the wheels sit. Did a nice job in this one, just really detailed. This is just, Matchbox was just killing it right now. Killing it at this era. This is the golden age. And that casting just looks so good. Those are the flower wheels. There was a wheel variation that you could kind of, really, I don't remember if there was a pattern to it, but the lace wheels, which were the better wheel at the time. But this was when they were developing new wheels as well. So this one showed up with lace wheels, and I don't think there was any, I don't think one was more rare than the other, but there was one that really was. And that was when they originated the new 10-spoke wheels. This is so rare that most folks, well, they have to care about it, of course. You have to care about a wheel variation. But Matchbox collectors started learning of this one, and it was only found in, of all places, Australia. And I think it was on the card, or it might have been in like a 10-pack or something. Well, I had some friends in Australia, asked them if they could find it. They did. They sent it to me, and I've always had it since. And it's wildly rare. Wildly rare. And I have a few of these cars like this, and I like telling those Matchbox stories. Those I always keep. But I had gotten rid of these two and thought maybe I'll just keep the variation. But you know what? I got to keep all three of them. So that's a story. It's staying. All right, that case is done. We're not done with that casting yet, but this case is full. So this one goes into the permanent collection, and I feel pretty good about it. Now it's just time to fill up the rest of, well, I think we've got, you can see I've got, so, because these are all in alphabetical, we got some Pontiacs up here and stuff that we'll probably have to get rid of in a minute, but we'll worry about this side for now. So this continues. This casting continues. We have black one. This one I've kept in in the collection. I don't think I have any more. See, the 911, when I purged before, I just wasn't into the 911 as much or something. I don't know. But all these models are great, right? I mean, you might say, yeah, John, I want you to purge it so I can get it. But I think you would argue with me, there's really no reason to get rid of them. This one's okay because it doesn't have the headlights, but this is that era. Same thing I showed you with the 911 GTR or GT2 or GT3, whatever. This one, turbo, nice. Still no headlights, but it's okay. At least they were, well, not okay. Could have been better. Then they came back and said, all right, we'll put the headlights back in there. This is past the golden age, but they've still been working on this casting because then we had this red version released not too long ago, a few years ago, and it's been so recent that we actually had a Target Red edition from not too long ago. And full deco, look at that. Side stripes, headlights, taillights, not bad. The second Matchbox Golden Age. I think that's all of that casting. So that leaves one other one for the that we need to consider, and that's this one. This is in the 911 category. This is the Porsche 911 Carrera Cabriolet. It's an okay casting. I don't like the front. I think it's a little exaggerated. Side is okay. Then some of these angles, it looks a little weird. This one actually. Okay, I've really thought about it. You want to see a really wild wheel variation? This was a 5-pack version, and they must have run out of wheels and had to keep the line going because this one showed up in a very small number of 5-packs with these thick tires, these classic wheels, and this looks insane. I purged this one out. I'm starting to think, because there's interesting stories here, that I'll keep those. So now I have to think about, there's a lot of versions of this casting. A lot of them I don't have or I've gotten rid of, but they have been releasing it over the years. This one in Metal Flake Black, I'll keep the blues. I'm just going to put these up here, and then I'm just going to think about it. It's kind of yellow version, green with gold rims, black. This release was a little bit longer ago. Yellow with yellow rims, white with chrome rims, and again, I don't know when they were all released. I think that might be it. I'm looking down here at our little thing. Those look pretty good, don't they? Oh, I'm doing a terrible job of purging, aren't I? I'm doing a terrible job of purging. You know what might happen is I might end up liking these castings so much I keep them all. There's still enough to purge that there's already enough we're going to be showing in the Whatnot show. I'm keeping those. Yeah, I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them. That's all the 911s. All right, let's work to the Cayman. Here's the Cayman casting. It's not great. It looks too narrow, too long, and kind of strangely proportioned. I'm going to keep, I don't know, I think the colors of this one, I'll just put in there. I think this was the first issue, was yellow. I'm not real keen on this cast. I think the colors they've chosen are good. Yellow, I said yellow and showed you red. This is yellow. I hope you knew that. This brown version with black rims. See, I'm starting to get, like, I'm falling for these colors, and the white with gold rims. I like white. These are purged. White stays. Since we're off, let's go to the couple of classics. This was one of my favorite castings of the year last year. This is the, what's the official name? Porsche 956, right? They don't have an Outlaw. This isn't an Outlaw. Hardtop, has the opening trunk. Glad they didn't opening doors. Really, really nice. I was pretty much vowed to keep all of those, and so far it's just there's been 2 releases and they've both been near perfect. White and gray. Those were easy to keep. No debates whatsoever. And then the other ones, the other one that's like a real classic that's been released outside of the that Porsche we'll get to, the Spider, 1955 Porsche 550 Spider. There's a black version, this blue version. I don't even have the black version. If I do, it's somewhere else. I'm just going to keep this one where they put the Hot Wheels Real Riders on it. just to have one of the casting. I'm not keen on it. I love the car. I'm just not keen on the casting, so I'll just keep one of those. And while we're here, I think what I'll do, well, let's see if there's another casting that we can kind of go through. Well, let's clean out the other side. All right, just to add with the classics, how about the 910? This is the only one issued. So far, I'm outside of the Leipzig show models. We haven't seen any of them since with the metal chassis. So right now I'm going to keep it. If there's a better version off the 70th, instead of the 70th anniversary, I will add it and maybe even get rid of that one. But for now, since it's the only one that's not in a show exclusive, that one stays. I guess while we're here, well, we have 4 slots for the 918 and the 918 Spider. So I think this casting that Matchbox did, I think some castings leave a lot to be desired the last few years. This one was darn near perfect. Just beats out the Hot Wheels, I think. I don't remember the exact order, but gray, yellow. I don't know if I'm going to keep them all. This green that was just released, and blue. I think those are really cool. I'm going to keep those just like that because they kind of fit nicely with the 910. If there's other issues of that casting, I don't have it. I'm not going to really religiously pursue it, but for now, I'm happy to have those. All right, let's do the 914. I'm going to show you all of them. We're going to put them up here. I'm not going to keep them all. We had that light green. Again, I'm not going to go in order. We've got this, you could call it British Racing Green, but it's a Porsche. This mustard yellow is a great color. This was a Rio design. They actually were able to create a window and a top all out of the same piece of plastic and then put that little outline on there. All 3 of those colors are pretty cool. The other plain colors that I've got are this red one and 60th anniversary blue. No tail lights or headlights on that one. And I think the same... Did this one get... Yeah, this one got taillights. All the other ones did. Got a few with stripes on it. This orange with the Porsche on the side is pretty cool. No taillights, though. I don't know what to think of that. This was maybe a 10-pack exclusive. Maybe it was a mainline. Red with these red rims. Don't totally work. Or white with the red rims and the red trim. This was a multi-pack exclusive. Same design, just in silver with black as that other one. And one little notch of color there on the side there, which is kind of odd. I mean, they're cool looking. This was premium, actually, with a premium chassis. They did another version with like Hot Wheels wheels on it with a plastic chassis, but this metal one, this is from the Lesney series. And then this is a Gathering exclusive that came in a blister pack, I think. And this one is actually the most detailed one there is. Then it has the big logo on the back. What year was that? 2010, so that one's 15 years old. So where are we? Honestly, I'm good purging that one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Lesney edition. I think there's a story here. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep this one, of course, because it's the Gathering exclusive. It's special. Okay, 914, that was easy. One that I could have added to the Cayman, but right now it's going to go back into my new models, and I'm just going to tell you this one right now. This is a Porsche release this year. It's the Boxster, right? Oh, 1718 Spider, 718 Spider RS. This goes into the new model batch because we're going to show these at the end of the year. So I always keep the new models together. So will it make it in this casting? Maybe as one representation of the casting. I can't stand it, though. I just can't stand it. All right, but we'll move on. Panamera. Rio did this one. He also did the Panamera in Hot Wheels. That was the first edition in plum. I'll just show you these colors as well. I don't think I have them all here, but I have a good number of them. That I think was the second color. We're talking several years ago. What's the year on this? 2010. Red. I think this might have been an older release too. probably older than that bright red. Then we've had a few with like the 5-spoke rims. Silver, this gray version, or not gray, kind of a, I don't know what color you call that. This one you definitely would call blue. Then I actually really like this bright yellow, and this is the first edition Panamera. You can tell by the tail lights. And this matte white version, which actually is pretty cool. But of course. All right, so is that all of the Panameras? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not sensing I need to keep them all. I feel like I'll keep the first edition, but I don't need them. I don't need them. I think I'm good with the one. I might consider this white one just because I like white, so maybe I'll put that in. Nah, I don't need it. That lends to this one. The Taycan, what is the official name? Or I'll just show you. Porsche Taycan GT, Taycan? I can't pronounce it. GTS Sport Turismo. First edition. I actually like this. The doors, the opening doors are okay, but this one actually is, I love the actual car. And this is a pretty decent casting. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not. So I'm going to keep both versions that have been released. They're released very soon within each other. If I keep one, I'm going to keep this gray one because I think it's a better color. But for now, I'm going to keep both just to kind of figure out if I like it or not. Which then lends to the Panamera, would lend to the Cayenne, right? Okay, there's been 1 million of the first issue Cayenne released. There's 2 Matchbox Cayennes. There's this one. Now I have all the super fast. So I think there were 4 issued in super fast. This one's my favorite. I love this kind of pearl color. So that's just a no-brainer. It stays. This was a super fast. You can tell by the wheels. I just really like these. Silver trim on that one's really cool. And then green. I'll keep all these. I'll keep the super fast for sure. There's been several others. This one was released with 5 spokes. I think I'm going to let it go. And same with this kind of candy apple red. They're nice, but I think just having this seems good enough for me. But there's also been a new issue of the Cayman, right? Or, I'm sorry, not the Cayman, the Cayenne. And there's several versions of this one, including this one that I have to open. So let's kind of, and I don't think I have all of them with me, but let's just see. So I think black was the first issue. And you can tell it's actually, size-wise, it probably should be a little bigger next to the old Cayman, or Cayenne. God, I'm going to get this wrong. But there you go. So it's a little, I don't know. It seems, just because I'm so used to the old one, it seems a little out of proportion. But we have black, we have red, we have kind of this cool blue one with black rims, white with black rims, then from the collector series, this green with 2-piece reel riders. Love the color. Wheels are okay. And then now we have this purple one. So I'm going to open up the purple one just so we can have a look at it. Purple. So 2 thoughts here. One is that Cayenne is so new that I might want to see it emerge, but I'm also only, if this is the better casting, I only have 4 of those. I don't need all of these. So, you know what? There's just no reason. There's just no reason. I just don't sense anybody's going to go, John, I really want a video with all of the Cayenne, Porsche, like current Cayenne. So we're going to let, even though I just opened this one, we're going to let it go as well. I'm happy with those 2. And they're a good representation. We'll see what else. Last one from the Porsche collection, I think. You know, there's a few others coming out, of course, and we'll see what other new models Matchbox introduces next weekend at the gathering. But is the Porsche Macan. It'll be the exact same thing. It's released as a chase. I saw one in the stores the other day. I didn't pick it up in light blue. Maybe I will eventually, and there might be another color. I'm really trying to keep up with Matchbox, and I'm having a hard time. Real riders on this one are kind of terrible, but the chase deco is really cool. as a Super Chase. So that's the only version of this casting I have so far of the Porsche Macan. So I'm going to put that in there, and I will represent all of these castings, and I think I've done that, right? So this one will also represent, and I'll figure out, you know, this blue one will stay until there's one I like better. But it's going to go in with the new models right there. Okay, push these out of the way. Close this up. Here we go. There's this portion. So I have two. Let's see, make sure I haven't missed anything. Have a few extras. Like as I go through this, I noticed like had an extra one of these, so that one can go into the purge pile. Sometimes I do that, I forget. But yeah, I'm pretty good with this. I kept more. I don't want to say I kept more. I kept some models I didn't know I would keep. Kept all of these, of course. It is my favorite Matchbox Porsche casting. Felt like I've done a nice job with these other ones. We'll watch these newer ones develop, and you know there might be a point where I only pick a few, but right now I want all of them. So, and I love the variations. Glad I was able to recover those from that 911 Turbo. And then yeah, that continues. Feeling good about the convertibles for now. I'm already rethinking. I don't need all those convertibles. I just don't. I just don't. Out. Out. See, I knew this would happen. I'll keep the blue because they're interesting. Black. The yellow's kind of cool. Green's out. There we go. Right? That's better. Okay, I feel better about that one. Feel better about that. So I'll fill in those gaps, of course. I just got a little organizing to do, but that's no big deal. One of those, cool with those, cool with all of those. And then, yeah, cut up here, but I think really good there. I'm happy. I'm happy with these. You guys tell me what you think. Guys, I'm doing this to the end. I've done this already 2 or 3 times, and I have boxes of cars that we're going to start on Whatnot on Saturday, and then we're just going to go through it as long as it takes over the next few weeks and months. And then, yeah, so I have my acrylic ones. I have these, and I'm going to be doing this to the rest of my Matchbox Loose collection and figure out. I think ultimately, just to finish this long video, I think it's really about if I can tell a story, like something interesting from that era, like the older era. I think I'm a golden age collector. I think that's first and foremost. I don't have to have every car from that golden age, but that's the era I like the best. I'm nostalgic for it for sure, like 2005 to 2010, 2011. Rio's time at Matchbox, he did so many good castings. So I wanted those. I think I'm gonna, as I do this, and I'll do other videos on this, I'll keep those. Tell the stories because they're interesting. You know, since Rio has since left us, there's great stories there, and there's people around that can tell them. And the castings were phenomenal. And then I think like I'll just kind of a smattering of what's been current and a little bit older than that. I've got my 8-dot collection, as you know. I feel good about this. I feel good about where this is sitting. And I think if I kind of model everything, there's a lot of Porsches. If I model the rest of it kind of in that approach, I think I'll be pretty good about the collection. I think I'll be able to get rid of some stuff, but keep the stuff that I think is really valuable to tell stories to you guys and to have a legitimate collection that I really enjoy. All right, that's enough talk. This was a very chatty video. I hope you liked it. Join me on Whatnot. We're going to have a good time. If you're seeing this past that Saturday we're doing the show, I promise you there's going to be a show. So use that link and join up with Whatnot and bookmark everything because we're going to be doing a lot of it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.